What's up, guys? It's Chris. Thanks for being with me again today. We'll be doing another Rockets topic today. I'll be talking a little bit about what to expect from Russ and the Rockets this season. I'm a big Russ fan, been that way for a long time, but we're coming into a new situation, a new team, a new fan base, new everything. So I want to talk about that a little bit with you guys today. Before we get going though, guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I'll be having post-game videos about each and every Rockets game. If you're new around here, I am new to YouTube, so it's very important that I get my support through subscribers and likes. I'm working my way to my first 100 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button now. It really means a lot to me. All right, guys. Man, I'm excited for this season. I've been a Thunder fan really since 2011, the finals year. You can say a Russ fan since then too. Been watching this game, been through the ups and downs, as any Thunder fan would know, over the years with the team, with Russ himself. And I kind of want to make this video to kind of talk about Russ a little bit to help Houston fans. Obviously, he is a very polarizing player. And the reason for that is because he is very hard to understand, especially from an outside perspective, or someone who has just the perspective of having these preconceived notions about Russ, or either the way he comes across to you, whatever it may be. I just want to talk about a little bit of all of that today and see what we come up with. The first thing we're going to talk about is, in my opinion, the most critical part of his transition to Houston, and it's actually something that for the bulk of Westbrook's career, I would say, not that he's good, I would say that he's been just a little underrated as a shooter. But the past couple seasons, no excuse, the jump shooting has been very bad. But I wanted to get a little more specific about some of the jump shots. Obviously, Houston believes in no mid-range shots. They want all three-pointers. But I want to talk a little bit about Russ and where I think he should be looking for jump shots within that system, and some jump shots he needs to avoid. With that though, guys, I would like to show you a few plays to kind of go over what I'm talking about exactly. First, I'm going to show you the jump shots I would like for Russ to avoid, and why he needs to avoid them and why they are sometimes tough for him to avoid. And then I'll bring up some examples of some shots that you would like to see him taking, and we've seen a little bit of both just a short time in the preseason with the Rockets. All right, guys, now these here are good, comfortable looks from Westbrook. The shots that he's really made a living off his career. Coming off the screen and roll, big man sagging back, just clean, comfortable looks, rising up the top, his cotton mid-range jumper. Sometimes contested, sometimes not, but just the ability to knock this shot down is really what's made him the great player that he is. Instead of just being just a great athlete, this is what made him, the all-star and great player, that Westbrook has become. Right here's a game winner over DeAndre Jordan. Buckets. Like, this is tough. This is what he does. Now, I wanted to show this play because this is a mid-range jumper in an ISO situation, not a screen and roll. Houston's going to want to turn this into a three-point shot. This is Russ's signature size-up dribble there. They're going to want this same action, in isolations or mismatches, but they're going to have to, he's going to have to be able to turn this into a three-pointer, which he can, as I want to show on this next play against Lauri Markkanen. Very similar situation, same dribble, pull-up three. Houston wants that every time. They're not going to want that same mid-range pull-up as you saw against Anderson. So these aren't even going to be shots here. I just wanted to bring all that up just to show you guys, that pull-up off the screen and roll, the mid-range. I know Houston wants to completely eliminate those shots, but he's going to still have to take a few of those, just with the way his game, is. He doesn't have great range or the moves to create a bunch of off the dribble shots, like some other guards like James or, Lillard and some of these other guys, Kyrie. He's so much different than those guys, Having that pull up mid-range game really keeps the defense honest. And it's really his only in-between range shot when he's going downhill. He doesn't really have the floater like some guards. That is a shot that he's going to have to take, not as much as he has, but still a little bit with Houston. Now, also, again, that signature size if I showed you in isolation, like that's his move. Like, again, his pull-up is a great shot out of that, out of that action. So it's never going to quite go away. Hopefully he can turn those a lot more into threes and not twos. And even still, as I'm going to show here, you don't want Russ taking too many threes. You want him attacking the basket, creating, playmaking for this team. There's going to be so many three-point and just easy looks he's going to be able to create, attacking in transition. That's going to be where Russ really impacts his team, offensively. I'm actually going to show you guys in a bit just some shots you really don't want Russ taking, some in the post, some just, mid-range pull-ups, the ones that you don't want him taking. what's going to be difficult for Russ is, and what's going to be different about this, I think he can make this transition, despite what we've seen in the preseason, early in the preseason. But I think he can make this transition. What's going to be different from him is really where this is going to change his game the most is, the number of shots per game. He's still going to average, his 20 points a game. But if you're going to take away a lot of these shots that I don't think he needs to shoot in Houston, it's just there's gonna be some nights where Russ only has 11, 12 shots, because again, like my biggest thing with Russ, and again, he's so polarizing. People have all these different things they say about him, what he needs to do, what he needs to change. I've watched this guy for a long time and I love him. This is the biggest, critique I have of the rest of the game right now. At this point in Westbrook's career, he's just taking way too many jump shots per game. There's too many games where Russ is taking 23 shots and 12 of them were jumpers. Doesn't matter where those 12 came from. There were 7 threes or 3 threes, or 10 threes. 12 jump shots in the game is just too many. I think he'll be able to adjust with this in Houston. I think we've seen a lot of signs of that in preseason on both sides. Honestly, we've seen good and bad. But with the spacing they have, he's going to be have a lot of driving opportunities to finish and create plays for these other guys. He really needs to just turn down these jump shots and some of these mid-range shots I'm going to show you guys later on in the video. 3-point shots. I would like to see him take 5 threes a game. 5 threes a game, 5, 6 threes a game, whatever percentage he shoots, and just almost completely eliminate the mid-range, except for maybe you give him 1 or 2 of those shots I've already shown you guys. Those ones coming off the screen, the big man's back, trying to keep him from the basket, and he pulls up and knocks those down. You got to give him 1 or 2 of those, because that's just his cotton shot, and it's in rhythm. If he's in rhythm, he can knock that down. He's been doing it his whole career. But the other jump shots, the post-ups, the fadeaways, some of these early shot clock threes, like early shot clock pull-ups, these just need to be completely eliminated in his time in Houston. And they will happen. Of course, they're going to happen every now and then, but there should never be a healthy diet. There should not even be one a game. He should not shoot one early shot clock jumper or fadeaway jumper or, post-up, face-up jumper. He should have less than one of those per game this season. I would like to see that. His jump shot should be, again, 5 or 6 threes a game, and you'll give him 1 or 2 of the pick and roll situation, mid-range jumper pull-ups. He benefits this team so much more attacking the basket and creating easy 3-point shots for the other guys on this team. His time at OKC was much different. Sometimes there were times where, like, shit, we need a bucket. Somebody, Russ, get us a bucket. That'll happen at times. These right here, these are post-ups. There should almost be none of these shots in Houston. Unless late in the shot clock. If he gets it in the post, 8 seconds on the shot clock, all right, you got to go to your fadeaway. You got it in your bag, Russ. You do your thing. But look at this one. 16 seconds on the shot clock when that shot is made. There's 20 seconds on the shot. He's gonna post up Beverly here, and look, post up again. These weren't necessarily. He can get comfortable and find rhythm in these spots. But in Houston, and with the way he's been shooting the ball lately, these last couple of years, I just don't think that Houston's gonna want any of this with their philosophy. Like, not one of these. Look at this. 17 on the shot clock. He's posting up. So I think they will talk to him about this. We did see some of these in the preseason. They were, not concerning, but you were like, oh, I didn't think we'd be seeing any of this, in Houston. But what he can do in post, like, it's not always bad for him to be in the post. He can go, like you see here, he can go right by guys. He does have a strength and speed advantage against really anybody guarding him in the post, unless that guy has a real size. He can get in. Look at this, like, just get all the way to the basket. Like, when he's doing this in the post, he is a beast. Like, you can't stop him. You'll also see when he does this, he can find guys, in the basket. He'll find Capella, when he's posting up. If guys are making cuts, he'll find shooters when guys are open. Look at, he had Beverly there, took him out to 3-point line, drove right past him. So this is the good stuff that he can do in the post, getting to the basket. Earlier I was showing, some of the fadeaways. You don't want that, but this is the good stuff. And this is probably why Houston would want him to post at times, just too strong. Like, this guy's just too little. But you don't want to, a heavy dose of it. You definitely don't want a dose of the fadeaways, in the post. So just wanted to show you guys, Russ is going to take some jump shots, but you just don't want some of those bad ones, the mid-range, the post, but you got to give him some of the comfortable ones off the screen. And yeah, he's going to have to take his open threes, obviously, in this offense. So as you guys saw there's a clear adjustment that needs to be made by Russ. Some of those mid-range shots, they need to be eliminated completely, honestly, unless in desperate situations in the offense. Those are for as efficient of an offense Houston has. Those shots they're just not good enough. But the other ones, he can get a lot of those shots, especially late in the clock, or the ball coming back to him. The ball's going to find Russ again, so he can find some of those shots a lot easier. And that's just going to make him a lot more efficient, but keep that Houston offense, humming as it has over the years. The next thing is the defense, which, I definitely have been frustrated with Russ's defense over the years. It's not consistent. He sometimes loses focus, but also, again, this might be probably the most underrated part of Russ's game. I'm not here to tell you that Russ is a great defender all the time. Hear me out, though. But some people talk about his defense as if he just has no value on the defensive end, which is absolutely crazy. For his position, Russell Westbrook is on the upper half of point guards in the NBA, even with all his faults. Like he takes plays off. The thing I get most frustrated with him about is I feel like he allows penetration on the pick and roll a little too easy. I wish he'd be more aggressive. He's aggressive at times, but just like sometimes he loses focus off ball, sometimes he doesn't put the pressure on the ball that I would like. But even with that, what I'm saying, his switchability, his relentlessness, his hustle, his rebounding. He's absolutely one of the upper end guards defensively, and I think that's going to really help the Rockets. Chris Paul was a great defensive guard in his own right, but not only is he getting older, but as his athleticism, when you compare it to Russ, he's just limited in what he can do. And I wouldn't, maybe not necessarily in guys that can guard, because CP was strong and stout. Russ is so much longer. He can play the passing lane, just be a longer, more just active defender, way more than CP3 could be. And I think that could open up a lot for the Houston offense, creating transition opportunities. It's really just picking up the pace as they hope to do since they've added Russ. Really am excited to see how he impacts the game defensively. Last year in OKC was actually one of his better defensive seasons. As much as his shooting was down, he did have some areas where he improved, defense being one of them. It was a more consistent defensive season overall, and I'm thinking that the Rockets, this season will be a continuation of that, and that's only going to be good news for the Rockets. This next one's a little more interesting to talk about, and, Westbrook's interpreted all kind of ways, man, from the way he growls on the court, at the opposing team, and just the way his demeanor is each and every play, and post-game interviews, but then the more jovial side when he's joking. There's a lot of different ways to interpret Russ out there. And I kind of want to talk about that for Houston fans who, again, you guys have kind of had your own interpretation, NBA fans across the league, your own interpretation and feelings about him and, his personality, what you think he is, how angry is he all the time, is he a nice guy, is he a good teammate, and I kind of want to talk about that real quick. Obviously, you all know he's super competitive, ultra fiery out there with the other team and himself. We see that sometimes, when he's frustrated, you see him get riled up, point that aggression and maybe what it can seem as a more selfish, ways, and that's kind of how it's interpreted negatively through media or opposing teams or whatever the case may be. But I hope that you guys will get to see over time that it really comes from a place of just wanting to win, man. You'll see that these moments sometimes, and these when he really goes out, it seems like he's going crazy. He sometimes pull out the best in him. Every area of his game. The rebounding and defense, just pushing him to make plays. I know again it seems like a rage that he needs to just control himself and pull back. And yes, over time he actually has gotten a lot better at that over the years. When the moments where he doesn't have it, it may seem like, it's just like it always was, but he actually has gotten a lot better at it over the years. He is a great teammate. He's a guy that just wants to win. Any of you guys have played the game know that, sometimes people handle their competitiveness a bit differently, and Russ is just a guy that, he lets it all out there. He shows it, through his hustle, through his actions with, the other opposing bench or the other team. He's coming at you. He's not scared. It's really something that, as you guys cheer for him, I know you guys will grow to appreciate. And the opposing teams, you'll let them start to, pick on him and do their thing. But you guys will grow to love it. It'll be a part of, a staple on the team. His energy, his hustle. his effort, all that stuff. Like it becomes part of the team and what you cheer for and you root for him. Like he's a very inspiring player because of that. You know, it's never over. He's pulled the team out of so many situations where it was just down and out. Like how did he make that happen? How did he make that play? Just snatching the rebound, offensive board, kicking it out, just somehow finding the pass, just getting the basket, finishing when there was no way, you know, and just late in the game, just finding energy, finding, you know, the adrenaline. It really is a special trait of his. And when people say let Russ be Russ, it's not necessarily, you know, the jump shots and things I was talking about earlier. It's that you have to let him express. You have to let him, you know, feel like he can go out there and hustle it and give maximum effort and, you know, make some mistakes and then, you know, maybe get a little, again, unraveled at times, but that's always the balance. But he needs that. It fuels him, you know, so it makes him so great and, you know, such an interesting and great player. Hey guys, appreciate you watching this video. I just wanted to say again, I apologize for that video quality earlier, some of that static video, but this is my first time putting a video together like this, and I'm gonna make sure that's correct and it won't happen again. So appreciate you watching. Rockets fans, I have a video about each and every game and just different topics over the season, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. You're not gonna want to miss any of that. Again, it's gonna be an exciting season. Russ and James, like it's going to be a fun season, man, across the NBA. There's just a lot to be excited about. I'll be covering different topics on the league as well. So thank you guys for watching. Again, I am a new channel, so I do appreciate all support. If you want to like and share this with other NBA fans, make sure you guys subscribe. I appreciate it. And I'll be back with you guys on Thursday with the post-game video. All right.